How's it going, guys? Today we are reviewing the Civivi Backlash. Now, I've had this on the channel before, but it was for a comparison, and I've never actually reviewed the knife fully, and I'm going to be doing that today. Big shout out, big thank you to Veltac Tactical Gear. They sent this knife with a couple other things for me to review, so I was pretty happy about that. Big shout out to those guys. You guys can go sign up with them below. You get $10 off, and yeah, you support these guys. They're USA-based retailer, and they're kind of jumping in and helping some channels out, get some gear, and it kind of puts them out there. So big thanks to Tyler over at Veltac. Pretty good guy. Pretty cool website too. They just launched recently, and yeah, they're getting going pretty well. So now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about this knife, shall we? So this was one that, like I said, I didn't get a chance to fully review, and that was because I was trying to get it back to the owner in a timely fashion, and it really does deserve its own. So we're going to go ahead and jump in with the pros, the so-sos, and then the cons of the knife. And yeah, first things first though, let's throw a spec check in there, get you guys a little bit of information, and then we'll get started. So here we go. So this was one of the most exciting knives in the budget category to come out last year, in my opinion, and it won, you know, a lot of channels like Knife of the Year, Budget Knife of the Year, so on and so forth. And that right off the bat, if you don't watch the rest of this review, it deserved it. It's a great knife, guys. So we're just going to go through a big list of pros, then just like two little tidbits to touch on at the end. So first things first, my #1 pro on this is just going to be, I was going to say the action, but just the overall whole package. The biggest thing is their attention to detail, and then we'll kind of work through that on why. So we'll talk about the action. The detent on this guy is dialed in perfectly, and it's just such a joy. Now, it sounds right, it feels right, it deploys fantastically. It's always hard to do this on camera, so I'll back up just a little bit. But you're going to watch just how easily it deploys, and it treats very nicely. And like I said, the camera's not going to do it justice. When I'm off camera, it's just a slight little, and it's still breaking in, but it's great. And let's move this back now. So the action is a big win on this. This is one of the best actions that you can get in a budget knife, and I've been thoroughly impressed ever since I've had it in hand. So the things that all those people talk about with it being great, it is. And there'll be a little tiny asterisk, as always, that'll come up at the end, and we'll talk about that briefly. The next thing I want to talk about on this is, on this particular model, the ergonomics are phenomenal. You can come back here, you can do this. It's got a nice, generous choil, perfectly executed, in my opinion, on the size, the location, and just how well you can get that in hand. That's one of the best control grips that I have on a pocket knife of this size, and you can just see it just every little thing. There's no sharp corners on here that I notice with my tiny little hands. Everything is just fit and finish on the ergonomics is really good. Sorry about the focus, guys. I'm trying a new recording app, so hopefully that looks a little bit better for you. Ergonomics are great. Next thing to touch on really quickly is the blade. Super thin behind the edge. I don't have one of the little calipers, and I can't give you an exact, but I'll try to do a little bit of research on somebody else's video and give you their information. I'll give them credit as well when that pops up. So I'll pop that up about here. But I know that this is a super slicey little blade. It's super thin behind the edge, just feeling it right here. And I'll kind of show you out of the box. I mean, okay, that's operator error, I promise you. Out of the box, this thing was fantastic. So really good attention to detail. It is the 9CR, which I know at first got a little bit of, well, we're not sure because everyone associated it with 8CR, but Pete from Cedric and Ada did a really thorough testing on it and shown that it is a capable steel in the budget arena. So great little blade. Next up on this will be the pocket clip. This is a deep carry pocket clip, pretty deep. You're almost all the way gone. It is left and right tip up carry, so all the things that people want in a pocket clip snobs like me rejoice. Lefties rejoice. Just a well done pocket clip. This one, I know a lot of people actually prefer this one to the tie one that you get on some of the little bit higher Civivis. It's a great little pocket clip. Another little thing is I just like the pivot on how it's just kind of, it's not flush, but it's nicely rounded. So this is what I mean by little attention to details. There's so many things to go over on this knife. If you saw my knife pet peeve video, the little Bermuda triangle down here is great. There's no issues whatsoever. So pretty much they are killing it. They've done things like they milled the liners. Let's see if we can show you right there. It's kind of hard to see. Lighting might not be right, but you can see the liners are milled. It's a nice lightweight knife. And it's just packing a heck of a punch at the price point that comes in on this knife. It's one of those things where I could really just talk about the pros all day. Pretty much, I had to kind of scrape and fight to find the mez of the knife, the so-sos of the knife, and the cons of the knife. And there really aren't any, in my opinion. Is this the perfect knife? No, but it's pretty damn close at the price. Let's see. The only so-so that I could really come up with was these colored liners. I know not everyone's a big fan, but I like the blue better than the gold. I think it looks nice. And little side note, Civivi, if you're watching, I know you're not, but how sweet would this look, guys? This is a G10. This is a nice G10 done very well. How sweet would this look, guys? Maybe it's just me, but if this was the natural G10 with these blue liners, and you would be able to kind of see that through here. This and Jade G10 or natural G10 with blue liners. They should release a sprint run of that. Maybe like a D2 blade with that. Civivi, if you're listening, there you go. Sidetrack, sorry, but we'll get back to it. So that was really the only so-sos I could find on the knife was the blue liners. I mean, it's a complete package, guys. And the only thing I could find for a con, honestly, was going to be that, and this is a little asterisk on the detent, is after watching Blade Banter's pull gauge on his knives that he got from Civivi and the experience I had with the Aquila and the last Backlash, it does seem like sometimes the detents can be kind of a little bit all over, but they all seem to operate functionable. The only one that I really had an issue with was my Aquila, and that one was dialed in a little too hard in my opinion. But these two Backlashes that I've had on the channel now were just absolutely fantastic, guys. I know it's kind of not a super in-depth detailed review, but this video would be 20 minutes long if I talked about all the great little features. It's good. The hardware is good. I mean, even the jimping's nice, guys. The jimping is nice. It's a little smooth, but for how you lock in here, I think it's just right, in my opinion. I think it's okay. I mean, it's kind of grippy, but not too bad. It's not tearing your thumb up because the way you lock in on this. Anyways, guys, it's a win. This is one of the biggest wins that I can recommend to you that I've had across the channel so far. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, the pros are pretty much the whole knife. The so-so is going to be just the color choice on the liners, which is not that big of a deal for me. And the only negative on the knife is sometimes the detents can be dialed in just a little bit too high on some models. But on the Backlashes I've had, they've all been perfect. So, I know that seems kind of like a gushy fanboy review, but honestly, it's a great knife, guys. So, big win on this guy. Wrapping up. So, yeah, any questions or comments below, guys, let me know what you think of this. If you've had it, I'm pretty sure everyone who's had it has been pretty happy with it. If you've had it and you hated it, please feel free to let me know down below and why. But, yeah, big thanks to Veltec. Big thanks to Civivi, guys. This is a great knife. Hope you, if you have one, I hope you enjoy it. If you don't have one, I think you will. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you really soon.